and then it went off the way we said it, right? So we got Maria in the comments here. Hey, Mike, give us some insight on the future. What do you see happening? We want more. We want more. And Douglas is here too. And Donald. Thanks, guys, for being here tonight on Rants and Lifestyle. Guys, we're not going to be talking about... Guys, I promise you, May 5th, we're going to do episode 224 of Trends in the Housing Market. And I already have the thimble and everything ready to go for Trends in the Housing Market 224. World getting expensive. Major correction ahead. So I got the notes for that show. Major correction by 2024, because from now to 2024 will be as long as it's going to need to re-regulate the banks, clean out all the money laundering, and clean up a good audit on our Canadian financial system to allow Canadians to get back into their real estate and allow Canadians to participate in their own real estate markets. So, okay, so let's give you guys some insight. I do have some stuff I'm going to bring up later in the show, but I'm going to bring this up right now because I think it was Maria that was asking for it. Our girl Maria from Niagara Falls there. And asking for what is going to happen. So, guys, we've been talking about the agenda, the whole Agenda 2020. Okay, we've been talking about Agenda 2020 for a good while now. The Agenda 2020 is important to talk about because what they want to do is roll in all the summits into one global agenda, sustainability to fix the world type of thing, and that's total garbage. And I'll tell you why it's total garbage, is because they're building this digital prison. They're laying the digital groundwork for digital currencies. They're going to build this digital prison around you. Now, let's go back. Now, let's look at what's going to happen. So I took some notes here. We got the Hamburg Summit that's going to happen in July. We got the NATO Brussels Summit that's on May 25th. We got the United Nations Ocean Conference that's in June of this year. Belt and Road Forum that's in May. And then we've already had the Munich Security Conference on February 17 to 19. We never mentioned that before, but we're mentioning it now. The Munich Security Conference. So what they want to do is they want to roll this all into a more big, grand scale and kind of announce to the world their plans. Remember George Walker Bush? We played that clip for you guys a few times. Not the land of the jungle, but a new world order, an order that will bring every man to the next level and bring every country out of poverty, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to bring nothing. All they're going to do is they're going to rape the resources and they're going to destroy even further the middle class and take it away from the country. So the wealth will be taken away from the countries, disallowing. Just like Canada's biggest coal mine we were reporting on. When was that? In 2012. No Canadian hires. Chinese-owned coal mine. Was it 2012 or 2014? Chinese biggest coal mine in British Columbia, the province I'm in. Chinese coal mine, no Canadian hires. They don't hire the Canadians, but they use our healthcare system. Now, the Agenda 2020 is going to be very, very interesting. So we'll keep our eyes on that because I could see them rolling in something and playing it off like sustainability. We're here to save you. Don't believe anything they tell you. It's a total lie. Okay, so now Donald was asking, let me just roll this back here, in the comments about are we headed to a recession? Okay, so we are in a recession. We've been in a recession since like 2012. Ever since the Canadian proper cannot get into their real estate anymore, Canada's been hell-bent on building its economy on real estate. The Canadian proper cannot get in because of the bidding wars. We covered in 2014 when we were in Vancouver, all the bidding wars and people standing outside of houses. And foreigners were just bidding up the homes, $800,000, $1 million over asking. And I'm like, I got to get out of here. This is a total disaster. So, again, we got our bidding wars. And I think we're going to be in a depression by 2019, 2020. We'll be in a full-blown depression. Unless governments could re-regulate the banking system or shut things down, right? And we'll get into the whole shut things down too, what we've been predicting on. And the public sector. Another thing I was taking notes on is the public sector is too damn big. Okay? The public sector is so big that the Liberals have been purposefully building Canada via some sort of public sector, and the conservatives too. The public sector is so big right now that the liberals will win a lot of votes in the future, because a lot of people are going to need those government jobs if they want to maintain a basic lifestyle, right? So the public sector is all junk employment data. We're getting all these numbers on junk employment data, and it's all government jobs. Public sector means nothing. It's the private sector that means something, right? And so what Canada needs to do, and then again, why we're going into a major depression, is the CCP money laundering cannot last much longer. It's out of control. Okay? Remember in 2012, 2013, 2014, we were filming for you guys, Hastings Street. We were filming the downtown. We did a whole series called Canada is Dying for you guys. I think it was in 2014 or 2015. We did a whole series that Canada is dying, right? The money laundering is in the hundreds of billions of dollars, and Canadians cannot compete with the bidding wars happening in BC. And now it's apparently happening now that they're putting more restrictions on for foreign investing. Everyone's going over to Toronto, and they're going to Seattle or Washington State to destroy those two economies housing-wise. So watch out, a tsunami of money laundering is going to go right across Canada and wipe out the Canadian middle class. And Canadian governments are allowing this because economically we're not doing anything anymore, right? And they got to stop the fentanyl opioids because that's not being produced in Canada. That's all coming in from China. The fentanyl, especially the high-grade fentanyl, that's all coming in from China. And again, that goes back to our Canada's dying. And yes, how are they going to shut things down? I'll bring it up again. You can make fun of me if you want. They're going to have to pull the trigger on a pandemic. That's the only thing I could see governments doing, or a hot war. So pulling the trigger on a pandemic, because they're going to have to shut things down. Because Donald was asking me last week on what are they going to do to shut things down? And I said basically quite a few times now, it's kind of like a broken record. This may not happen, but they need to pull the trigger on a pandemic. They need to declare a national world emergency, and they could do that via hot war, right? So I did take notes for later show, but I'm gonna pull them out right now. They're gonna pull the trigger on a pandemic because they're gonna have to shut things down. Period. Because of the this money laundering economic disaster they've put us in, they're gonna have to shut things down, right? And I keep warning Americans, hey, Americans, Canada is your biggest threat, not Iraq. Canada is the biggest threat America has because of what's coming into Canada, and Canada is becoming a playground for the criminal elite and for like testing substances and fentanyls and all that stuff. And we tie that to Chinese gangs bringing this stuff in and re-laundering the money in our real estate. So they're going to have to pull the trigger on a pandemic to shut it down. And again, we've been talking about how we've been longing an American takeover here up in Canada. I've lived in both countries, folks. I could tell you, I just feel a lot safer when I was in America because I'm allowed to defend myself. In Canada, you just can't defend yourself. Let's keep going. So yeah, let's become the 51st state and see what happens. But we will have to re-regulate our healthcare system, which is already a socialized, crumbling healthcare system here in Canada. It's not good at all. It's actually gone severely downhill. And digital prison, that's one thing where we're going to talk about. We'll get into more in the show. We're going to be talking about the whole digital prison scenario and how they're laying this groundwork with digital currencies, and they're going to do that China model we've been talking about, where they're going to have your recognition, your facial recognition, your body style, your temperature, everything, and they're going to know who you are, and they're going to know what you did, and they're going to put you on a bad boy list, and you can't get your money out. Your money. They won't allow you to take your money out. They're going to take that China model. And let's get back to, was it G14096B, whatever, is asking, I see a World War III on the horizon. Yes. So we're going to go back to our hot war scenario. So we got the whole Taiwan and China thing. And they're going to probably sanction each other to death because this. Remember the whole semiconductor thing we've been talking about in Taiwan, which is a major thing with the graphics cards and all that stuff, and those microchips and semiconductors. That's very important, right? So there'll be a China Taiwan conflict for sure. And don't forget the conflict right now that's happening today on the India-China border, where China's trying to take territory from India. And then let's not forget, poking the bear, we'll see a Ukraine and Russia conflict. And Ukraine, I think this week, as NATO this week has been building up forces on the Russian border and doing military drills, poking Russia to a war. And I that's another one. And I think that Israel is going to go to war with the entire Middle East. They're going to push for war all over. And America will back it, of course. And American taxpayers will back the whole Israel against the whole Middle East conflict. I could see all this happening the next couple of years, easy, right? And let's talk about the Great Divide. Now, we talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs a few weeks back, but this week I want to talk about the Great Divide here on Rants and Lifestyle because it's important. The Great Divide is, they have us divided already by skin color, by religion, by creed, by language, by color. They're going to divide us by sexual preference. They're going to push and they're going to divide us to further divide us into this anti-woven society where we're all divided and we're all anti social, right? It's already happened with global warming. We're telling you that global warming is not real. It's not. It's just their agenda that they're pushing on you. Global warming, global warming. What do you mean global warming? It's the polar ice caps are seeing more and more ice on their surfaces than they did in the last, I don't know, 30, 40 years. If anything, we're going to global cooling. So this whole global warming agenda, what's the deal with that? Right? Al Gore, blah, 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 blah. Shut up, man. These guys look like idiots, right? So there's going to be a lot to look for coming this summer, in 2017, and I think 2018 things are going to get a lot harder. I think by 2020 I go back to my video from 2010 video or 2012 video that they will be pushing food will be unaffordable. So we'll see where the price of food goes. Our energy wars we've been talking about, we're going to see energy skyrocket like crazy. And they're going to put layers of taxes. And they're going to tax us to death, guys. You guys know this. We've been talking about how the taxation is destroying us. I think I was reading a gas bill I had. And in that gas bill, my gas was $13. And they're charging me $140 in other charges. And the gas is in the ground in the pipes. So you can't make this stuff up. And this is where we're going, folks. This is where we're going. And someone's asking me, am I going to open lines? Yeah, guys, I'm going to start the second segment now. I'll put up the phone number for you guys to call. Guys, stop with the crank calls, please. Stop with the crank calls. I got my box here ready to go. And I'm going to just get that. We're going to get into the second segment of the show right now. And I want your thoughts on all these, the rollouts of all these programs, these sustainability programs they're pushing on us. This whole Agenda 2020, sustainability, fix the world thing they're trying to talk about. I was reading it in a PDF, right? Right? So, and I think I see it more as a whole depopulation thing, right? I could see them forcing us on taking a vaccine or something that's going to depopulate us. I could see them doing all kinds of stuff in the future. And basically destroying humanity, right? So, yeah, I'm not going to get into the arguments. Someone in the comments is saying population issues. You have population issues, Mike. Yeah, I don't believe the world's like six whatever billion people. I just don't believe it. I don't believe we have that many people in the world. So they're ramping up the numbers so we could see that we are a problem and they need to get rid of us, right? So anyways, Okay, let's get into the second half of the show, guys. Let us get what's Maria? Are you still in the comments there?